welcome to another episode of
Soul Filling,
where you get your soul fed. And we have an amazing episode for you guys because we were talking about Charlottesville, but you know what we gotta do before we get started.
Introduce ourselves.
Yes, because we never introduce ourselves. I always forget. But I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Jasmine.
And I'm Jasmine, aka Kobe.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
The birthday girl.
The birthday girl. So we are about to get the whole birthday phenomenal woman.
Yes.
Let's just
take a minute to breathe in that all.
Yes.
Trying to start adulting again, you know? Mm-hmm. Grown woman, I'm a grown woman status.
You do whatever you want. But we're about to do for the culture. Do it for the culture.
Do it for the culture.
And do you want to explain what for the culture is for the people who don't know?
Yes,
For the people that don't
we
know.
gotta do it for... Originally, okay, this is a term that started by Migos. You know, they had to do it for the culture, the rap culture. You know, they felt like they were the ones who was putting on, you know, the North Atlanta crew. And other people wasn't feeling them. They was like, you know, they didn't like their rapping style, but they was like, we do it for the culture, we do it for, you know, who we are, our people.
Right.
So we gotta do it for who we are, do it for our people.
Yes.
Do it for the young adults, do it for the millennials, do it for the sisters, do it for the black women.
The brothers, the positive
Yes.
people out there. We doing it for you
All
guys.
of you all.
Yes.
So what we got in store?
So
Jasmine.
today, the other G's. So today's topic for doing it for the culture, I know a lot of you all have heard about the lunar eclipse, and so everybody.
What is a solar?
I mean, no, it's actually the lunar
Oh,
eclipse.
okay.
It is a solar eclipse, but if you break it down, it's the lunar eclipse.
Okay.
So, and yes, so what the lunar eclipse is it pretty much cosmos, it's dealing with the cosmos, in which also aka has to do with our solar system. So yes, you're technically right. But what is the lunar eclipse? I know a lot of you have all probably been experiencing things spiritually, energetically, just this amazing or just this very, very powerful or intense energy that's just been covering the air, covering your life. And so what kind of energy is actually covering your life? So the energy that's responsible, that this lunar eclipse is responsible, what it is responsible for is actually healing energy, also known as revealing energy, or also known as transforming energy.
And that energy is going on right now.
Right this very, very second. And
I feel that because I feel like some things have been revealed to me.
Exactly. And when it says revealing things, I'm glad that you said that. Revealing things to you is technically taking us, it's a very, very, very amplified energy that's taking you in this path of transforming your life or revealing to you that things that have been suppressed or things. I wrote a lot of notes because this topic is so deep. Things that may have been just like repressed, things that may have just been buried, things that's unconsciously or subconsciously just going on within you. And so going to the topic, if you break down the word lunar, it also aka means the moon. Even in Spanish, the word luna means the moon. And so the moon energy is something that's also connected or tied into with the subconscious mind. So things that you don't even know that realize that have been embedded in you. So this time, all of that energy is awakening and it's being uncovered. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad energy. It's just that whole transformation. And so another thing that the lunar eclipse is definitely responsible for is that transitioning period or purification period, so or being made new or just uncovering or just facing the truth. And so when they were saying transitioning or transforming energy, it was saying pretty much you're pretty much going through this stage, you're going through this phase right now, this cycle of your life. And in this cycle, you have the opportunity to be made new, be purified, and all of the baggage that is going to be uncovered. And it can be very, very intense. You could be experiencing a lot of things that you just may, it just may be like unpredictable. It could be chaotic. It could be like a whole bunch of unexpected surprises that could arise right now in this time period in your life, and you just like, dang. But it was saying, don't resist it. Just go with the flow, like weigh it out, ride it out, because I know, because a lot of times we try to like, it's saying this is a time to be receptive, because this is like the moment that God is like giving you that divine guidance, and is taking you through that period. Right, it's taking you through this period that you need to go through, because everything happens in a cycle. And so, you know, it's kind of like the okay, so you know, everything happens in a cycle. If you're having a bad cycle, you know how they always say things are so bad it had no choice but to become good. Mm-hmm. I have no choice but to see better days because things are so bad. So if things do seem to become bad in some cases in your life, so bad that you're just like, what the heck is going on in my life? Just know, like, just know, like, weigh it out, like, take it for what it is. And it's saying it can be changes, transformations in your jobs, in your financial, in your business, in your relationships, your friendships. Like, it just it's that revealing stage. Yes. So it's gonna uncover all the things you need to know so that you can grow forth in your new direction of life. So it's gonna help you purify yourself into releasing all that negative energy, that negative baggage, or whatever situation that you need, so that when you grow through this process, I always like to say grow through instead of go through. I like it. But when you grow through this process, you'll be free, and it's like you're made new. And like biblically, it always say that re-cleansing and be renewed and be made new. And so it's like that stage where you're going through this lunar eclipse, and
which is happening right now.
Which is happening right now. Okay. Right now in your life, and you're going through, and it started, I want to say early August, so it's already happened, and it will like peak on the 21st of this month. And so they were saying that the lunar eclipse is in Leo, and so that Leo's is deal with it has to do with like loyalty and all this stuff. So it's like, be loyal to yourself, be aware that this is going on, because if you're aware that this is going on, you can understand like how you need to just not resist everything that's happening in your life, but just sit back, be patient, and receive the messages that God has to give you, receive the direction. And they also said that you may be prone to like making a whole 360 change in your life. You may find yourself going one way, but the message that God has to give to you is going to be so powerful. It can steer you in a complete different direction, and that's financially, that's relationships wise, that's all aspects of life that you might need to know. So like, just be and just know that everything is going to turn out for the greater good, no matter what may happen. So they were saying, stay optimistic during this time. Constantly like stay prayed up, stay meditated up, because you need to like take moments to like do that self-reflection, like focus on inside, like what's going on in me, so you can actually be receptive to receive the messages that God has to give you, instead of it being like this tug of war, like God trying to send you this way, but like, no, I'm gonna keep going on this path, like God trying to send you this way, but you're trying to redirect yourself. But no, like, so go.
Yeah, I was just saying, since this is happening right now, so I keep hearing you like, wait, this is happening right now? Right now?
Yes, it's happening right now.
Had felt it without knowing what was going on, but it hasn't been hard, luckily. It's been of me just accepting everything that God is really changing my life.
Right.
Like, okay. So I want to know, like, have y'all felt it? Like,
yes.
So can y'all like share what things have changed, or if y'all want to?
Okay. Thank you. Hey, Ashley. Ashley. Hey, girl. Hey. You go ahead and give an example, because I had one earlier today. I had one earlier today, and I lost it. I did want to mention it during this, but I cannot put my finger on it for anything right now. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It is.
Do you want to go, or you want me to go, or you want to go?
I don't know if it's the energy, the change in the atmosphere, or what, but I just felt like, because I'm turning 25, I was supposed to be at a certain place, and just, just feeling some kind of way.
Right.
But, now that I've just been accepting it. I'm just like, you know what? It is what it is. This is.
Right.
This is. Everything is going to happen on its time. Like I told you, I had an interview today. It didn't go too well, but
you were just like,
you know what?
Right.
Keep on moving.
You gotta keep on moving, and that's what's been happening to me. But it's been like I don't want to say relationship side, but it was like I was really struggling to accept my singleness, And then it didn't come into the point where I don't know what came across my mind. I was like searching unconsciously but consciously, like for love, like, okay, this person could be potential, this person, right? And I was just like always thinking of love, instead of just knowing that I'm worthy of love and that I am worth it and I am valuable and I'm prized, and like I don't have to be the one begging for someone else's attention.
Never.
You know, if I just love myself and not worry about, well, I'm 25, I don't have anybody to love. Instead, if I just love myself or just be okay and really explore myself, that, you know, everything's gonna come in due time. So it's like somebody not texting me back or somebody not calling me back, I'm just like, well, I guess they didn't.
That's your loss.
I'm over here still shining, but it revealed that to me that, like, wait, you're worthy. I think, you know what? I don't know what I was listening to, but something revealed that to me during this time, and it's just like, I'm finally at peace with, okay, I was listening to our podcast actually about relationships. I think Robert Harper was basically saying, like, don't waste your singleness. Yeah. And so I'm just like, okay.
That's beautiful.
Just
enjoy it, have fun.
I'm just here, you know, just living.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. I think for me, it was with schooling and like having that tug of war. Like, do I need to go back to school, and do I want to, or do I just want to just accept life for what it is? But then it came to a point to where it didn't feel like I was trying to, it was like, I feel like truly God revealed and gave me an opportunity that I couldn't pass up. So, and even within that opportunity, going back to school, I think, honestly, the path that I'm being revealed. Remember when we was out last week, after the JJ's thing? So we went out, and I was just like, you know, I know what I'm doing right now is not meant for me. Remember, I was like freaked out, but I was like, you know, it's not for me. But I really feel like in the course from like those 3 days ago, God is like slowly putting things in my path to where I can honestly say I can see myself growing and doing this and growing in Inspire Fire and going hand in hand and actually living my purpose. And that's exactly what it said. I was like, and it's crazy because I didn't research any of this until like just recent, and I was just like, but it was all in the alignment of what stuff I had studied in the past. So when I started researching lunar eclipse, I was like, wow, I had no idea. But it was just like revelation upon revelation. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, I have that revelation too. I don't know if we were talking about it then, but I don't know. There's some peace that has came over me at this time. But it's just like you start to realize that like I don't have any say over my own life. So it has to like, it goes back to living in the present. So if I'm constantly living in the present and constantly actually asking God for guidance, I know that He'll let me go in the right step instead of like thinking, okay, this probably happened because God wanted me to do this, and this probably happened because God. We don't know. Well, that's what has been revealed to me. I don't know. So what I'm just gonna do, I'm gonna live in the present moment. I'm gonna do the best I can and try to like go wherever God is telling me to go. Because at the end of the day, I be trying to figure out, oh, and this is like this is this, but it's like you know, like can you just stop thinking?
We have to remember we only have like we can only see things from our point of view. He is up here, he's looking down, he can see everything. He knows where he has that bird's eye view. He can see where we're going and where he's leading us.
Right.
But we are in it.
Right.
So we just have to stick with it, keep going.
Because at the same time, it's like I don't know what is happening. Like I don't know what road he's trying to take me on. But at the same time, I know it's leading to my desires because I know he didn't put that in my heart for no reason. Like
exactly.
I just know. At least I have that discernment.
Exactly.
And Inspire Fire is it. Okay.
That's true. That is so true.
But more about the lunar eclipse. So that more.
It's pretty much saying think of yourself as going through that purification stage, cleansing yourself. This is a cleansing moment, so you're releasing all of that old baggage. I feel like I just said this, and then after this time you're really gonna feel weights lifting off your shoulders, literally, because I know for me I'm putting my business out there, whatever, so I was just thinking like Kobe was saying earlier with the career, and I think I need to be this place in life, and financially I was feeling like I need to be this here in life. I'm at this age, and so like literally lately, I just been feeling like at peace. Like I know everything is gonna work out for my good, and it's like I don't know how, I don't know when, but I know it is going to work out. And it's just like I'm really coming to that peace. And like we still young, and it's just like I'm so happy that it's happening now. I'm so happy that it's happening while we're in our 20s. So. Yes, and but I just kind of deviated.
But I love it, like when you were saying earlier about God is trying to reveal us, or the universe is trying to reveal us this way, and a lot of times we try to pull back this way, and that's just not gonna work. So it's just like I like how you said, just let it go, and just
and
follow.
This is for the lunar eclipse only though, because life happens in cycles, and so for the lunar eclipse specifically, you are supposed to sit back, take time and watch and receive the messages that God has to give to you. Now, in the solar eclipse, it's like a new moon cycle, so that's when things are new in your life and you're supposed to put action. Like all those things you've been putting bricks down and foundations and wanting to see things you want to do, that's when you're supposed to like, okay, let me map it out. All those things I mapped out, let me take action. But this time it's telling you to be at rest. Don't so much try to put all your plans that you've been saying that you want to come true, go through right now, because God may have something to add to those plans. God may have even greater for those plans. Like we are about to go on tour with JJ right now, and we just like
we are right?
Like it's just amazing, like how things are just unfolding. It's like little by little, it's saying like don't be so gung ho to try to press, because like take a moment, just sit back and look within, go and truly have that connection, that personal relationship with the divine source, with God, and like receive all that God wants to give to you. So I definitely, and like you were just saying, don't try to go your own way, just go back on that path.
Don't fight it.
Don't fight it.
But I don't know if you were through yet, but it goes hand in hand with the topic that we're going to discuss today. And it's revealing, this time is really revealing to what's happening in our country right now, what's happening in Charlottesville. Even though it's revealing stuff, what did you say? Sometimes it's going to be hard, it's going to be chaotic and things of that nature.
And I want
that's crazy. That's exactly what's happening.
Just to piggyback on that, I was just going to tie that. You be reading my mind or something.
I mean, I didn't know when you were going to say it.
I was like, I thought y'all ain't supposed to play. But yeah, so exactly on the point, to the T. So all this age that the stuff that's happening is just so chaotic right now. Going to our topic for today, which is the Charlottesville, and then the justice and the judgment. So think about it. We're the things that's going on right now is technically being revealed, and I know a lot of times y'all hear the term the information age. Yes, so we're going through an information age, and right now everything is just pretty much being revealed to us right before our eyes. We have like Google, we have the internet, so anything you want to know, you can uncover it. And so with the things that's going on right now, it's just like we're just seeing the blatant stuff that's been happening all along, but it's been suppressed. It's just been there all along, but now it's finally coming to surface. It's finally being revealed. Coming to the light.
It's like I don't want to hop into it, but I know like it's being revealed, like it's being revealed to other people, like for the hatred that's going on in Charlottesville, or just the situation that's going on in Charlottesville. It's like a lot of people knew this was happening, but it was like kind of underground, but still at the global surface. But now it's revealing to the entire world and to the people, the citizens in our country, like, look, we're not lying. This is really happening. People really do hate other people just for,
People thought the Black Lives Matter movement was just being extra, like, why does everything have to be about race? Now you see.
But just being revealed.
Why we are doing what we're doing, why we're protesting.
Right, yeah, exactly, because it's there, and it's just I see it's like, thank you, it's being revealed, because everything that's in the dark comes to the light. And a shout out for this lunar eclipse, because revealing needed to happen.
It had to happen.
And it's something like we can't disregard. It's not something we can say, oh, that didn't happen. It's there. It's in our face. And now we have to confront it.
And it's not
receive
it. So it's receiving it for what it is. But I don't think we should go against it. I think because God has the ultimate say. Like all of this, the things that they're doing right now, it's not even minuscule of what the greater picture is going to be. And I feel like this is a step to greatness. So in every cycle, you know, this is like, it keeps getting worse and worse and worse. I'm sorry I'm deviating, but like I feel like this cycle is getting worse, but we're just like a hair away from things just becoming gold and divine and just amazing again. Like we're at that, like we just gotta get over that hump. But
right.
But yeah, let's get into
as a reminder. I love my pastor, y'all. He just been on it lately.
Shout out to him.
Right?
Yes.
Shout out to Kirby John and Windsor Village Church. But he, read a scripture this past Sunday, and it was Ephesians 6:12, and it says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." And I think that's what we have to remember.
That's what's going on right now.
This is what we're not
beautiful.
wrestling against flesh, but it's not what we see in front of us.
Ooh.
This is deeply rooted. This is from generations and generations.
Yes.
This is
You're on point.
I'm gonna need you to say that one more time for the people in the back.
Yes.
Please read that scripture again, because that was just like, you're right.
No,
You're
this is
right.
Pastor. Come on, come on. Thank you.
I was
Ephesians 6:12, y'all. You gotta go save it, look at it, read it, receive it. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Woo, I love that. So, like, are we done?
I was gonna say that.
Are we
Say no
done?
more. That was supposed to be for the solutions. At
Right.
the end.
No, that was beautiful.
That's
But
a way to bring it all together.
bring it all together. But I'm just going to. For some people, might not know what's going on in our country. So I'm just gonna, take it back,
We're
real
gonna take it
quick.
back.
So we hopped in.
You just got
Yes.
deep dove, nose down.
Right. So for people who don't know, on Saturday there was a riot. Some people call it a terrorist attack.
It was definitely that.
Some people don't call it that. Some people just call it a protest. But basically, these, I guess we'll call them the alt-right, the white nationalists, we'll call them the white supremacists, some KKK members, all those people on the far right side. White supremacists all together. They came together in protest because they were taking down a statue of a Confederate hero to them, Robert E.
Air quotes.
Yes, the hero. But they were mad because of that, and so they all came together in cahoots with like the guy who actually kind of started was this blogger. I don't know his name, but he's this extreme blogger who brought all these people together. And a lot of these people are hate groups. Came together, and there was also counter protesters there. But the thing about it, this protest wasn't a peaceful protest. It wasn't anybody kneeling at a football stadium. It wasn't hands up, don't shoot. It was people coming out, hate groups coming out with torches, and when they saw counter protesters, they battled with them. When they saw police, they were pushing at them. And there was even one person who used their car and ran through a crowd of people that were on the counter protest, killed one person, beating up others, injured like 19, 25 people. So it was like a huge dramatic incident, and it's like this blatant hatred. It's like all for what? Is that statue really what caused all this, the taking of the statue, or is there a deeper hate that this country is now being rebuilt to? So that's what's been happening, and that's what's been going on, and it's just these people, white nationalists, white supremacists, coming together with so much hate in their hearts with these torches. It's just like, it just reminds you of the KKK, because some of them are from the KKK with torches in their hands. The only thing is, and the good thing about this age, they're revealed now. They don't have their mask on. So at least we get to see them. But that's what's been going on, and that's what we're talking about. And now we see that our country, we knew it was divided, but now it is rebuilt. But it reveals a lot of things.
It does. It does.
It definitely reveals a lot. And if we just want to first target facts.
Yes.
It definitely revealed that color does matter in America. And the reason why I say that, because all of the protests that we've been having in the past 7 years, starting with the Trayvon Martin, starting the Eric Gardner, all of the X and Y, black people, so to speak, we have been protesting, not me personally, but us as a people, we have been protesting for 7 years, because that Trayvon, now it marks 7 years, going on 8. And so we've been protesting for this many years. And then at a white supremacist protest, they actually had the police there as their protection. And at all of our protests, we've had National Guards come out at some of our protests. They've even had KKK members show up to some of our protests with the indictments that wasn't being enforced on a couple of the killers of the black people that was killed throughout the course of the 7 years. So that being said, knowing that color does matter, and what I was saying to say that this is sad to know that our law enforcement, our politicians actually protect this type of behavior. The people that are in power, our president is protecting and defending this behavior subliminally. And the reason why I say that, because during the protest that was going on over the course of 7 years, they were making like direct phrases, like saying to the black people that were protesting, if you're protesting, you will get arrested on sight. We're going to use tear gas. We're going to use rubber bullets. We're going to use enforcement. It's people still locked up right now in jail behind bars that protested for the Eric Gardner case, that protested for the Sandra Bland, that protested for the and they were just peaceful protesters. They didn't have weapons. All they had was signs. And so you think now today in 2017, you have this white supremacist protest, and then they were like, only one person got arrested, and that was the guy that killed somebody. To my knowledge, I haven't heard anybody else getting arrested. In this that actually protested, and they actually were targeting to kill. They were like they had violent act. They were on the act of killing people, like opposed to people that were black that wasn't going out there with the intentions of killing.
Right. So I just want to say, to sum up, what you're basically saying is look at the parallels. So there's a protest with a group of black people who are being silent and having their hands up and walking around with signs. We see all these police lined up, ready to battle.
Armed police
ready to battle. But these people aren't armed. They have signs. They're walking. They're good. On the other hand, we have this protest with white supremacists, they're armed with guns, armed with fire torches, and things of that nature, shouting out hate speech. And although even if they're pushing back at the police, they are not seen as a threat, really. They're not being handcuffed. They're not being thrown tear gassed at. Exactly. And there's these. So this is where we're saying, how do you see this as wrong? These black people coming together and peacefully, and this is right. This is where white privilege is prevalent, and a lot of people have been saying that white privilege is a thing. I don't see color. Stop making it erasing. But we're here trying to show you this is exactly what's happening.
It's revealing itself.
It's revealing
But
itself.
it's evident in other areas too. It's not just there.
Right.
If a person of color commits a crime, their consequences are much greater than if a person of the opposite is committed the same crime.
Right.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah. There's statistics that show that.
Yeah, and then it's statistics. I don't have them on me, but where they said even in the schools, little black girls are more likely to be. It was in my psychology book. Black girls are more likely to be expelled. Yeah, to have issues or troubles where they get expelled from school.
Right.
Compared to everyone else.
That's what.
And it's evident across different areas.
Right.
And it's not equal. Yeah. It's not equal.
And I think the thing is, that's all I feel like black people or people who have been oppressed for many years, all we want is equality, and that's it. And I think that when I was reading tweets from people that were on the right or very conservative, and they were just saying they're trying to erase our white history, they're trying to take power, they're trying to steal our jobs. That's been the the whole thing, make America great again. Like we the oppressed people or immigrants are trying to take something from them.
They
feel threatened when the whole time all we want is equality. So it's like their fear is affecting us so much. When all we want is equality. We don't want to take over nothing. We just want equal pay. We want to be treated the right way. That's it. And I think that's what we want to reveal to you all. So,
I think it's,
you know,
I gotta play devil's advocate, or I don't even know if this is devil's advocate. I would like to say on that, well, black people, we're wanting equality, but we're seeking equality from the oppressor. And the oppressor is, I'm sorry to say, as long as they keep passing down the habits, we'll never receive equality from them. We can receive, it's bigger than like physical. It's bigger than like the quote that Kobe was just saying, we can't fight against them to ask for our rights. We have to gain our rights in a whole nother playing field. I think it's definitely spiritual. I think it's definitely starting with ourselves. Absolutely. And passing down good values to the next generation. And so with them asking for equality, it's definitely the power. There is, like you were always saying, it's definitely the want for power, the fear that they're going to lose their power, and with the whole Charlottesville, I found it very, very strange because a lot of people were comparing it to the Civil War that happened in 1865 when slavery was about to end. Well, that's when the war ended, but 1861 was when the war started. And it was saying it was because of the North they went into civil war with the South, and a lot of people were saying that it was because Abraham Lincoln wanted to abolish slavery, but they covered and masked, they put a mask on the fact that it wasn't necessarily because they cared about black people. They wanted to give us rights. They didn't really ultimately care. It was more of a money issue, and how the South was generating millions and billions. The wealth that they still have today, they're still wealthy off of the slave trades from when our ancestors was enslaved. So I think it's so much deeper than what we are seeing right now. And I want to say that so the North was pretty upset with the South because they were pretty much economically, they were ruling the nation. It was like 13, and that's what the Confederate flag has, the 13 stars, and is representing the 13 states of the South that was a part of the slave trade and slave plantations. So the North went into war with them because they felt that they wasn't receiving a fair share, and they were trying to figure out how they could benefit equally like the South was doing off of the black people. And so once they figured out that it was no way that they could catch up because the South was being greedy about it or something, you can look this up. If you can type in on YouTube, like, if you just type in truth about Civil War, or I can drop some links there below so you can get some and get credited sources, and it'll be multiple sources, so it won't just be one. But anywho, so they were literally like, it was all about the money. And so bringing it back to present day, we're in the information age and everything is being revealed. And so now black people, and so going back actually, so while the white people white supremacists were at war with one another, slaves were revolting on their plantations, and they were not able to contain them anymore. Like, you had the Nat Turner rebellion, and it was like maybe hundreds of those same type of rebellions going on at that time. And they were masking that because we only get white supremacist side of history, and of course they're not going to tell the part of history where they look bad in. And so when they were doing this, the slaves were revolting so much, so they kind of had to eliminate slavery because their plantations were being overtaken by their slaves, because so many people were getting information being revealed like, hey, it's only one master to 300 slaves. Of course we outnumber them. So after so many people started gaining knowledge, they had to like, okay, we can't control them like this no more, so let's come together as a group and we're going to figure out a way how we can control them without slavery. And that's now, back then it was segregation, and now it's the modern day Jim Crow. It's systematic. systematic slavery, and right now it's the prison system,
yes.
and then the blatant shootings of our people. And so I think the fight amongst themselves is deeper than what we're seeing it to be. So I don't think it really has anything to do with us. I think what Black people should do right now is we really need to focus on ourselves, focus on how to become the best version of ourselves. We don't need to fight tit for tat with them. Let them fight their fight. That's what I feel. But and we need to fight our own fight, which is not even really a fight at all.
I agree, and I don't think it just goes for Black people.
Right,
it goes for, because it's like, I feel like there's two, just like in every race, every culture, there's like the good and the bad. And then what also revealed to me during this time is when I saw so many Caucasians, different people of color standing up for us, for going against, like literally hating how much these people are doing, like all this, the white nationalists, the white supremacists, the KKK, they're so heartfelt about this is not right, and these are people that don't look like us. So that revealed to me, like, look, there are people out there, there's a lot of people that aren't our same color that care about us, and we have to make sure they know too, like, we need to fight within as well.
Absolutely. I definitely will say to that, I think they were saying it was the liberals that were out there. Well, of course, it was the liberals that were not our color that were fighting for us. And with that, I do encourage for everybody needs to have their own fight. And when I say own fight, I mean like power. I believe in tan power or brown power to the brown man. Every group needs to have empowerment within their culture. And I think these cultures that were standing up to white supremacy, they too had an underlying meaning as to why they dislike white supremacy, because white supremacy is also disrespecting them. Because from what I was researching, it was the LGBT community, it was Jews, it was other people that was other ethnicities, and these two themselves, they had their own issues with white supremacy, and a part, of course, they can relate to the adversities that us as Black people are facing too. So it wasn't just strictly they were focusing, they cared about us so much. It was like they cared about themselves, and then they cared about us as also. So, so I don't think it was just solely like, because where were they at all those other 7 years of protesting?
No, I mean, because a lot of white people were actually there too, as well, fighting for us. But I mean, I think if we just come against hate together, we could. It's finding something. I do believe in like Black power, because obviously, come on now. But I believe in fighting. It's like love against hate. You know,
right.
So his quote that he tweeted out, his tweet, you know, where he was saying, if you can be taught to hate, then you can be taught to love. And it's like the perfect. He always knows how to address a situation,
right?
And make you just go.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right.
And I feel like there's no way that love can't win. But it has to be focusing on the inside first. Like you were just saying, because I really feel like it could go two ways. It could either we let this get the best of us and becomes something crazy. America could fall down. These people could try to take over power. We could all become slaves again. The Mexican, like everybody could become. Even the liberal white people, but
I'm sorry.
Or it could be, you know, we come together, all of us. You know, we might have our own separate things, but the basis of what's right, and saying no, we come as a people. This is what we're going to do. We are the people, and love trumps hate.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
I did not make that up. I did.
I like that.
I mean, it came in at the right time.
Right.
Because but it's just like what we're doing. Like these white privileged people, these white nationalist people, they don't want us to love ourselves, because they taught us for so long that not to. But when we start loving ourselves first and teaching like we do, you know, what we know about positive thinking, healthy eating, you know, about following God, they don't want us to share that. They don't want us to know our power. Our power is ourselves. Our love is God, you know. So
that's so crazy that you said that, because a lot of in the comments that I read, I see a lot of people bringing up the black on black crime. You know, what about that? Why don't y'all, you know, address, you know, those? And so it starts with us as black people. We have to stop tearing each other down.
Exactly.
We have to come together,
right,
and be strong. If we continue to just tear each other down, and you know, we're not gonna make it.
You're right. You're right.
Exactly.
You're right.
It's gonna be our own destruction.
Own destruction.
So we have to come together as a people.
Yeah. I think it comes to where it's like we all have our different things. We always say this. We all have like, do what you love. You know, I could teach healthy eating. Someone else could teach, you know, how to run fast. Someone else could teach you how to preach. You know, our own little thing. But I think it goes back to like, if you see, like, I work for a nonprofit, and the CEO of my company, if she sees a need in the community, it doesn't matter what her company is about, she makes a solution to it. She sees kids on the street don't have a summer camp to go to, she makes a summer camp. She sees kids need somewhere to learn, come after school, we'll feed you. So if you see something wrong happening,
right,
then you need to address it or make a way to like, hey, someone help. Like, maybe I can't do anything, but I know someone who can.
Exactly. And honestly, I think that's the solution right there. That's the love, because it takes a true power, a sense of love, loving yourself enough to go out and love somebody else, because they say you can't love someone else unless you love yourself. So it's important for us to find that self-love so we can like strip away the ego and like genuinely go lend that helping hand where it's needed. And so
yes, so what are you guys gonna do? I mean, excuse me. I mean, I really do get upset, because I feel like if you read enough Facebook posts, you're gonna get upset, because I feel like sometimes it's just like, how can you not see what I'm seeing? And it goes back to perception. Exactly. We have to go and look really try to, if you're really trying to go that hard and figure out why the heck is this person still saying that white lives matter? Like, why? Why are you saying you don't see race? How can you not see this? Like, if you're really thinking about it, you have to like, you really want to see how they, like, their life, and really try to see what their perception is and why they might be that way.
The thing is, we can't change it. We're not going to be able to change it. If somebody thinks something is right, that they're
entitled to their opinion. They have a right to think that that's right.
Because nobody's going to convince me that black lives don't matter. Nobody's going to convince me of that.
Just as firm as you are on your issue, that's how others are on you know, what they believe.
Absolutely.
Right. And I think that they're always going to be present. And that's why I think if you try fighting with them, it's like the saying, you arguing with a fool, you're never going to win. Or it's like, if you find, if you know, any of you know someone out there that's like mentally unstable, and they have like a disease like depression, schizophrenia, or just like one of those true mental illnesses. And if you try to talk to them and you're trying to get your point across, it's almost like you may really genuinely love them, but your point will never get across. And that's kind of what it's like when you're trying to talk to someone that's on the extreme end of any case. Like,
maybe they have a mental disease.
Possibly.
Honestly, maybe we just call it what it is.
And maybe they may think the same about us, that we have a mental disease, because all we can see is through the eyes that we have been given, as far as our perception will allow us to see. And so if your perception is to see, and some of them may genuinely make America great again. They think America was great when they were in power and they had everything at their fingertips. It's like they were living in they were royalty of the land. If you think about it, it's like, these were my peasants, I'm sitting on the throne, so why wouldn't I want that life again? They think that, in their perception, that was a great life.
Or maybe, that too. But it's like a lot of these people are like rednecks and who are poor.
And some of them aren't, though. Some of them aren't.
Yeah, some of them are and some of them aren't. But it's like the feeling of being on the bottom. How dare this black person, this tan person, this anybody other than me is in corporate America while I'm over here on a tractor or living in a trailer. So it's like making America great again is essentially making all white people in power again, whether you're poor or you're rich. I'm higher than you.
Right. But no, yes, you're right. It is a lot of them that are there, but there's some of them that are lawyers, policemen, many of them that are policemen, and they were even saying like the wardens of the plantations back then, they like when they abolished slavery, they just appointed all of them to the prisons. And prisons were only made for white people back then because black people were slaves. And so it just kind of, history just goes so deep. But I do definitely get what you're saying. It's
I
like,
wasn't disagreeing with you. I know Donald Trump, he's a gazillionaire. And he's a white supremacist.
Exactly.
I mean, people, of course, the people higher up, that's why we can't get any verdicts, can't get any indictments.
Absolutely.
Because the people are in there. But there's
the
there's
owners of the NFL
people.
teams, the owners of a lot of the NBA teams, a lot of them, not all of them. But it just goes to show that until we genuinely get ourselves together. And
until we just able to address the issues as they are and just, wrong is wrong.
Right.
Like, we just want justice, and that's where this all started. The Black Lives Matter started because we wanted justice. These police officers were killing these people, weren't getting,
anything. They were free.
Exactly. And so, if we could just get to a place where we could just.
But if we were thinking solutions, how would y'all suggest that?
I mean,
more black people would have to be empowered. People that look like the people that are calling the shots. That's the only.
So we gotta come on. We gotta get these lawyers. We have to teach. So that's something we, the lady was talking about that today. As women, she took that. She went the engineering route, and as black people, a lot of us are thinking, I want to be an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer.
I'm not good at math. It's gonna be too hard. Let me just do
to tell these kids, yes, you can do this.
You can instill that in them.
Yes.
And it's really difficult for a lot of parents to instill that in them because they themselves aren't these engineers, these lawyers, these doctors. And you got to think about it, these white supremacists, they're raising kids and they already in the law field, they're already in engineers. So of course, if you see your dad doing it, you automatically think, I could do that without a doubt. Or he can also have networking connections. I can send you your resume over to such and such in the company. So definitely, I feel like we just need more images of that. And that's why I love, just these blogs where it's just empowering. You see the fit people, you see, Blavity posting things and positive things about black people. And we get to see these images and say, okay, you know what? We can be in positions of power. We can do this. Exactly. It is possible. It's possible.
It's definitely, and some people say like, oh, you just post stuff on social media. You're just a social media hero or activist. But you're right. That stuff does affect. It definitely affects my perception. Like, oh, that is beautiful. Her hair is beautiful. Right. Or I can do this. I can do that.
Yes.
Right.
But
I want to go for it.
No, you got it.
And social media is just as powerful as the media you seeing on TV.
Absolutely.
So
even more to me.
It's exactly. And now since everybody walking around with our smartphones, we're not walking around with TVs, even though these can be used as TVs. But our social media is definitely just as powerful as these television sets. So if all you are seeing, that imaging, that media that you're receiving is through the social media, let it be positive, let it be empowering, let it be something that motivates you in the direction that you want to go in life. So
that can even start changing the perception of other people that are, don't think like you, because when you start posting, oh, you're going out and you're teaching kids about healthy eating, or you're putting out something positive, like, oh, maybe all black people aren't this or that, maybe all Indians aren't this or that.
That's the thing. We have to change people's perception about us, as well as even our own people. We have to change our perceptions about us as well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right, we not all, just because you in middle age African American female don't mean all you do is twerk. And just because you a young African American male doesn't mean all you do is sell drugs, or you're a dope boy, or you're a gangster. That perception, I'm happy that we have social media because it's showing us all different avenues of life in all aspects, and it's inspiring those. Like, hey, he went to elementary school with me, or a high school with me, like, he doing this, like,
y'all be keeping me hella encouraged, right? For real.
Same. And y'all just tagged in the video today. I don't know if y'all saw it, but Marley.
Yes, that was amazing. I was like, this kid is more articulate. Oh,
Like I had seen it before. No, I do remember.
I didn't watch it when you tagged me, but I was like, okay, since Kyle tagged, I'm just gonna, because y'all tagged me in a lot of stuff, like this is really important. But she was totally articulate.
Nah,
Yes,
she
but
was.
if you don't know what we're talking about, you go look her up. Marley Diaz, I think.
Yeah, DIS, yeah.
Yes. Started 1,000 black
Books where like the black person was the main character.
Yes.
Because she wasn't seeing that in her schools and stuff like that. And that's like
Right.
another thing.
Yes.
So she basically saw a need for something and then she acted on it.
And she's
Yes.
12.
And she's 12.
12 years.
I
And
just
her
watched
mother.
speak. I was just like, oh
I
my
know.
gosh, she's
So
awesome.
awesome and organic.
She's so articulate, so, and the lady was just appalled, like, and you're at what age?
She was like, why? I'm gonna like, with my kids when they get home, why aren't they like you? I was thinking that
Can
too.
you be my kid?
Right.
No,
But-
but seriously, and then she has a very, very supportive system. Like her mom is like really supportive. Her parents are supportive. So like, I think in order for our children to be something, if they already have the outside of the world and all the odds that are against them, if you were a parent, like be that vessel of light, that one that pours into their life until they know themselves that they are capable or that it is possible for them to do it.
Yes.
Even when
No, and I just want to add too, if you're a teacher or somebody who's around someone who knows that somebody may not have that, speak that into them, please. 'Cause they need it.
They need it.
Yes.
I want to just co-sign that. We got to say it again. You have to speak life into people because there's
Yes,
gonna
you
be people speaking down on
Yeah.
them. Like I know, like in a lot of school systems that teachers will say, oh, you're not smart enough, let me hold them back, or they need to be in remedial classes and things of that nature. They especially do that in the black community. But no, you say, no, you are worthy, you are smart, you can do this. Like my nephew, don't tell me you can't do something. I don't care if you're losing or something, you are about to win. Like you can't give up. So you have to speak that into your child, speak that into your friends, your mother, whoever you can. You know, that's so important.
so important.
But yeah, I just want to get back to y'all were saying like, what can we do to make this change, to get these verdicts and stuff like that. And y'all were saying having people be in the police force, being lawyers, being this and that, being trying to get their own NFL team or NBA team.
Yes.
But I want to also say there's a lot of black people in high places. But sometimes like the pressure is so hard to do right because so much is going wrong. It's like you fall into that, well, I don't want to lose my position. I don't want to be kicked off the football team. I don't want to, risk my family, and things of that nature. But if we go back, if everybody's just really, truly, really trying to do right, and you see corruption in the police field, you have to do something about it. You have to stand up. And I know it has to be hard, but it's like, we all have to sacrifice, because I don't know if it's real life, but I feel like it's real life. I think it's half and half nots. But it's like that police station is like really corrupt.
Yes, it is.
And like if you keep seeing wrong being done and wrong being done, nobody sees things. It's like I'm not trying to mess with this. I'm not trying to put my hand in this. But sometimes you need to, because that's the only way it's gonna be stopped. So it's just like I say, play your part.
It's just like sometimes you have to pick and choose.
Yeah.
your
That's what it
battles.
is.
You're right.
Be intelligent about it.
Yes.
Everything you have to go with. You have to be strategic about it. I wouldn't say recklessly or just because you're in these positions, just abuse it because I'm not sure. Just earlier this year that the judge, she was the first black judge in somewhere, and she wound up dead after she had
What is she?
she indicted like a white man that was in power or something, and then next thing you know, she was dead, and she was the first and only black judge in this city. I can't remember, but anyway, just to say, like, sometimes we have this power, but white supremacy power is like on 1,000 past our power. So I feel like, do you sacrifice your life and forget about your family, or what do you do in that case?
I say what I said earlier. You just ask God for guidance and be in the present moment, and you be led by Him and pray over your life and pray over your family, because He won't steer you the wrong way. There's life. I mean, I don't want to die or anything, but if we're really doing this spiritual fight, like we were saying, life is beyond. My frame of thought, life is beyond was here on earth.
Yeah,
And there's
absolutely.
paradise afterwards. So it's just like, I don't think nothing is in vain, but definitely don't act, out of just whatever. But I think always in everything, even me going to work daily, I ask for guidance, I ask for favor. I ask for a favor with people I'm around, that we could work together well, that we could make an impact in the community. So it's like just having that mindset and constantly being, it's not us on our own. Never lean into your own understanding.
Right.
Follow God, follow the Spirit.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
Okay. Well, I think it's a growing process, and that is great advice to start with. And that's actually what I've been doing in my current life now. Like, I know that it's bigger than me, and I don't have all the answers, but I can be guided into the answers. And so you have to honestly ask for that discernment and know which way to go in your life.
And celebrate those little victories, those little wins.
Absolutely.
A lot of people were bashing Obama about how he didn't do enough for Black people, but it's like you have to celebrate what he did do.
Right.
Like, he can't do everything. He's not the president of Black people.
Right.
He's the president of the United States. So
right. Even though Trump is just acting like the president for white supremacy,
exactly.
but I ain't gonna get
But the difference is Obama is a leader and Trump, to me, is a dictator.
But I think Obama would have got assassinated or impeached if he would have did what Trump did. That's
That's that white privilege. That's that
white privilege.
racism.
Yeah.
That's that blatant racism. But yeah, you're right. True. So he probably you're right. He acted strategically, did what he can, protected his family, protected himself, and got out.
Exactly.
And his legacy is beautiful.
But yeah. I don't have anything else to add to that. Do you guys have anything else y'all like to add?
I was watching. This is random. I was watching Being Mary Jane, and just we have to deal with these issues, but on a personal level, just we have to pick and choose our battles. I know in the episode this recent when she went off on a lady because she said something in the workplace. And the HR lady told her, she may be wrong. What this girl said may have been wrong, but you going off on her doesn't make her look bad. It makes you look bad.
Right.
So, just, when we're going through our daily lives and things may happen, we just, when they go low, you go high. You just have to keep remembering. Yes.
Right. Keep up.
Yes. Don't stop. Don't go off on people, because we're in this time, and I think the tensions are really high right now.
Oh my God,
you just have to remember that.
You're right. The battle.
Speaking of a real life story,
it goes back to the scripture.
Yes.
We are not wrestling against flesh and blood.
Because nobody can stop the power that we have from God. I'm sorry.
Real talk. And I have a real life example. I just told you this story, and and so it's kind of just like with Mary J. Like if I would have argued, okay, so
tell us.
I was going into work.
I told my mom this story.
I was going into work on, was that Friday? I think it was Friday. And so in my job, there's a parking garage. And so when you enter the parking garage, there's a first level and there's a second level. And so I work here, I've been working here for quite some time, for over a year. So I know the parking garage, like I have it memorized to the T. So I know when I'm supposed to yield, stop, when I have a stop sign and when I have the just clear go. And so when I just have a go and I know the other intersection of the parking garage have a stop sign, I don't yield, I just go. And so I'm going in the parking garage, and I had just gotten to work because I had went to school earlier that morning. I got out of class earlier, so I was like 30 minutes early to work. So as I'm driving, going up the parking garage, I'm going from level 1 to floor 2 to level 2. I get to an intersection. This car, he's driving in, and he's like on my driver's side, he's driving and he runs his stop sign. It's a Mercedes, and he just runs his stop sign and almost hits me on my driver door, like slams on his brakes. So I didn't even budge. I just took my foot off the gas. I didn't brake or anything because I was just like, okay, as long as you didn't hit my car, we good. Like my car is good, I'm good. So like no scratch, no insurance, have to be exchanged or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I just proceed about my day because employees have to park on level 4. And so I just go up level 2, go up level 3. By the time I get on level 3, I look in my rear view. He's behind me, following me. The Mercedes-Benz that almost hit me is in my rear view. So I'm just like, okay. So I'm like, is that the same black Mercedes-Benz? So yes, it is, lo and behold. So I get to level 4. I find a parking spot. There's 2 vacant spots. So I park in one. I was like, okay, if you want to park next to me, that's fine. So he doesn't park. He just parks behind my car. Like, his car's still on, but he's just on his brakes behind my car. Like, boxed me in. I'm just like, okay. And so, mind you, it's like 1:30 in the afternoon, because I didn't have to be at work until 2. And so I'm like, okay, so I wasn't planning on getting right out of my car. I was going to sit in my car, scroll through Instagram, check some emails, I was just about to sit in my car, but he's thinking that I was, I was about to go right in. He didn't know I was even an employee there. He just probably thought that I was a regular customer that was going in. And so so I'm like, okay, I look at my review, so I just go back to scrolling through my phone. 3 minutes later, he's still behind my car. And so by the 4th minute, I'm like, okay, what's he gonna do? So he drives off. He goes up to the 5th level, comes back down, and parks by my car again, like in a matter of 20 seconds. All he did was go up and turn around and like park the opposite way. So he's going toward the exit now. And so, okay, at this point, I'm just like, I sat in my car another 2 minutes, like, is he really just gonna sit here? Because I wasn't planning on going right out and going inside. So I opened my car door, look outside, and I was like, excuse me, do we have a problem? I don't know if I should say the words that he said, but he said every word in the book other than ma'am, excuse me. He called me a stupid, dumb B, learn how to effing drive. And I was just like, whoa. He's like, you almost effing hit me, you dumb B. Learn how to motherfucking drive. I was just like, whoa. Oh, I was like, okay. First, I had to take a deep breath because I was heated at this point. I was like shaking. I was so mad and I wanted to just fly off the handle, but I was like, okay, don't do that. So I was just like, okay, excuse me, sir. I was like, you ran your stop sign. I had the right of way and you almost hit me. So why are you upset? And so he's like, no, you saw me effing coming. You didn't stop for me. And I was just like,
entitlement.
He felt like he was entitled. He looked like a really wealthy person driving a Mercedes. It was like a sports Mercedes. And so he was not African American, so everybody already think Black lives don't matter. He wasn't Caucasian either. He was from a different country, and I was just like, wow. Like, I never once called him anything other than excuse. Like, I didn't call him out his name. I didn't go back and forth with him like I could have, and like I really, really wanted to, but I was just like, don't do it. So he's still just going off. I let him go off about a good 45 seconds to a minute, and I was just like, I took a deep breath, and he just kept calling me a B. It was like he was provoking me to get out of my car. And so my car door was already open because my car was off. And just as I was about to step out my car, things was being revealed. And it was just some crazy, unexpected, weird. I had never experienced road rage. No one has ever called me a B out of my name. No boyfriend I ever had. It was just, I never been called that before. So I was just like, really shocked to be called that. And it was just like, and he kept saying it like he was trying to get a reaction out of me, like he had an illness, and I was not fighting with the flesh. It was like some on a whole nother level, because I'm over here calm, and for him to have ran his stop sign and almost hit me, he was just angry at me that he followed me up because this happened on level 1. He followed me all the way up to level 4, and he was just like going off like this and waited almost 10 minutes to talk to me. I'm just like, something really not all the way up there. Like he not all the way there. So okay, ending the story. So after he just let me have it for the past minute or two, I was just like, two people told me I should have called the police, but I was just like, I wasn't even thinking that for some reason, because I was just like shocked, like, you really this mad because you almost hit me? And so after that, I was just like, I took a deep breath, and before I was about to get out of my car, but something literally held me back. Like, it was a spiritual force that just would not let me get out the car. Because what if he would have had a gun? He would have felt threatened that I was approaching him. If I would have started approaching his vehicle or anything. So I was just like, just stay in the car. And so I was like, you know what? The universe got you. Your own karma gonna take care of this. And he was just like, he just paused. He's like, you dumb B, learn how to drive, and just sped off. I was like, wow.
You already know what was up.
Wow.
But I think your story really goes to how, you know, especially in this time where this outrage and chaos is going on, even in our daily lives, how do you have to protect your energy? It could be someone talking to you crazy at work or just doing the most at work, and you just have to be like, okay, thank you.
Right.
And you just protect your own energy, because you could go down that spiral hole of negativity and hate, and that's what, like you said, they want to get a reaction out of you.
They want you to get out of character.
They want you to get out of pocket, and I'm just like,
but you just
like you were saying on Mary J, it's all about how you react to anything. And I know the old myself, like 2 years ago, a year ago, probably would have been there with him. But like, I'm just so happy that I had that discernment, and I know I'm in tune with God now, and then I can actually make clear decisions, like immature decisions based on wisdom and just not off of emotions. Because my first emotional reaction was anger, and I was just ready to just go off, but thank God for like that wisdom. So I think it's definitely important for us to have that spiritual connection, that spiritual relationship to guide you and guide you along your path, because your journey is going to be rocky, and you're going to face these adversities, and you're going to see some crazy stuff, and it's like you just want to have that wisdom, that guidance right there with you, helping you make those crazy decisions that you might have to make. And it'll make them not be so crazy, because later on that day I was good. I was happy as AF, but I was thinking, like, had I fed into that negative energy, my whole day would have been messed up. My whole day. So. And
I guess on a petty note, I honestly sometimes I just like being real nice to people that are like
that expecting something different.
Yeah, that is just like, I might get an email that's just like, what is this? And then, but it's just like, okay, great, you got it. Or just like, I know it's like making them feel like, what is going on? You know, I kind of like, on a petty note, it's like, but it also just eliminates any negativity for me, because it's like, wait, I could do this. Because now it's like I come to the point where it's just like, I really do be thinking about how other people think, and how like I might like something, but someone else might not, and they might know something more than me. So it might seem like somebody's coming off to me in a bad way, but I really be trying to think like, okay, maybe shouldn't take this so personal. Right. In your case, that shit was really personal, but that's just another day. That's another topic. But they just made me think of that. But great story. True.
But yeah, guys. Well, all right. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Yes. But before we head out, y'all already know what time it is.
It's affirmation time. It's affirmation time. It's affirmation time.
It's affirmation time. So if this is your first time tuning in with us and you've never heard of, who's that? Z. Hey Z. Hey Mama Nix. Hey Nicole, hey Cal, hey Elijah, hey Kirby. Okay, so, but if this is your first time tuning in with us, hey, all you beautiful people out there, we are going to leave you all with something we always do at the end of every last podcast, and it's something that is called an affirmation. Oh, and after that situation happened, I had to say 1,000 affirmations to get my mind back on track. And so, with affirmations, it's any positive statement that you tell yourself so that you can just program your mind and get in tune with everything for the best. And so the most common affirmation is the I am affirmation, and that's, in the Bible it says, let the weak say I am strong. And so anytime you feeling weak, or you feeling angry, or you feeling just not quite yourself, just feeling like emotionally imbalanced, go ahead and speak some positive affirmations in your life. Like, tell yourself, I'm mentally stable, I'm amazing, I'm feeling happy, I'm feeling excited, I'm feeling blessed to be alive, I'm feeling, just speak that life into yourself. Don't go ever speak weakness into your life and just go ahead and let that thing consume you. So, it's thousands and trillions and 11 billions of you out there, and it's 3 of us. So we are going to share with you all our positive affirmations. Who want to go first?
I'll go. Sure. Or did you want to go first, birthday girl?
I was thinking.
Okay. She was like, okay. I am valuable.
Yes, you are.
I am valuable.
Very deep. I love that. Hey. Dang. I
I
always
am.
do that. I'm valuable too.
You are.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, I think I'm ready. I am the light, I am peace, and I am a reflection of my creator.
And I see that in you. Birthday girl.
Yes, you are, birthday girl. 25. 25 in the building.
Yes.
Yes, I am worthy of my best life.
Yes. You're living your best life right now.
I am.
Hey, Kyle Clinton.
Hey,
Our
hey.
new friend. He went to Soul Yoga with us.
Bless you, Kyle.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for tuning in.
Let's see what he said. It sounds like this is about to be lit.
Yes.
Protect your energy. That's a great way to put it. Emotional reactions can be so exhausting for me. Great stuff. Thanks. Yes, they can. Yes, they can.
Yes.
Well, go ahead and let them know where to find us. And
Yes. First of all, if you're watching us on Facebook Live, if you have not clicked the like button, go ahead and do that right now. We are not giving these gems for free for nothing. Give us a like, okay?
At least.
At least. We are on SoundCloud, we are on YouTube, we are on iTunes as well, and Google Play. All you have to put in is Soul Filling Podcast.
Absolutely.
And I mean, that's about it.
Hey, thank you all so much, you beautiful people that tuned in. Until next week.
Like, comment, subscribe to us.
Yes.